Tell all about your favorite stars.
This is Channel 7 Eyewitness News with Tim Fleischer and Victoria Corderi. Bill Evans with the exclusive AccuWeather forecast and the Eyewitness News team. Now, Eyewitness News.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Tim Fleischer. A Brooklyn family grieves this noon after 3 brothers drowned in a tragic accident while on a field trip to Boston. 2 drowned at a hotel pool yesterday. A 3rd died in a hospital later. All 3 apparently could not swim. We get the latest now from Steve Sabraccia in Boston.
As the tour left the hotel this morning, most members of the group had not been told that 3 brothers on that tour had died.
You know the kid died?
A kid?
Did you know that 2 of the kids died?
2 kids died? I didn't hear that. I heard that they were screaming, that's it.
You know what happened last night in the pool?
It was just before 10 last night when the accident happened, as a half-dozen kids ranging in age from 7 to 16 played in the unsupervised pool at the Ramada Inn. An 11-year-old witness told police how the triple drownings happened.
2 of the brothers who were victims of the drowning were in the shallow end of the pool and went over the rope. He, at that time, told them to stop fooling around because they were jumping up and down in the water. The 3rd brother, we feel, realized what was happening, went over the rope, and the 11-year-old still thought they were fooling around. When it became obvious that they were not fooling around, he ran around banging on doors trying to get some help.
That began a more than 30-minute resuscitation effort, first by an assistant hotel manager, later by police, EMTs, and firefighters.
The youngsters were pulled from the pool by the hotel manager. Police and fire worked on the youngsters. They were transported to the Lawrence General Hospital and St. John's Hospital in Lowell. This time we understand that 2 of the youngsters have expired, and one who was a twin brother of 2 twin brothers were brought to Lawrence General Hospital. One is alive and one is dead at this time. The boy at the St. John's Hospital is dead. They are 3 brothers.
The 13-year-old and one of his 16-year-old twin brothers were pronounced dead at local hospitals last night here in the Merrimack Valley. The other 16-year-old was airlifted to Boston, where he died at 6:18 this morning. Police say not one adult in the tour group was in the pool area as the kids played last night.
The pool was posted that it was closed at 10 p.m., that there's no lifeguard present, and anyone under 13 required adult supervision.
That was Steve Sabraccia reporting for us from Boston. Police have also not released the identities of the 3 boys. Victoria?
And Tim, there is grief in the Bronx today. 2 brothers who work for a car service made a shocking discovery when they heard a driver was killed. It was their brother. They heard a report that a livery cab driver had been fatally shot, and fearing they knew the victim, they drove to the scene and learned the worst. It was indeed their brother, 28-year-old Sekou Kaba. Kaba was shot in the back in an apparent robbery. Police have no suspects. Police also have no cause for a fire that destroyed a Brooklyn synagogue and heavily damaged an adjoining one. Investigators are looking to see if the blaze at the Papa congregation in Borough Park could have been deliberately set. Tim Minton is live with the very latest. Tim.
And Victoria, they are beginning now to do what the fire did not finish, and that is demolition of the gutted congregation pupa. You are looking at it live. The fire started hours after prayers at this synagogue had ended and right before prayers next door were set to begin. There isn't much left of Congregation Pupa, where at this time yesterday, Passover prayer was underway. Now the synagogue's 50 members are praying for the recovery of their Holy Torah scrolls.
You very much hope so, that they are safe, because they are in a safe. But to what extent it is waterproof, we don't know. That's why the demolition company is here right now to try to get the safe out.
The cause of the blaze, which went to 3 alarms and also damaged another synagogue next door, has yet to be determined. But there's no doubt about the fire's ferocity.
Coming out the windows on arrival, and the front door was actually melted.
Mendy Reichman was in his home across the street from the synagogues when the fire broke out and when flames began to literally jump over to his porch.
You see the plastics all around over here. That came down from the windows, from the fire, from the heat.
And this is across the street from where the fire was?
Right. It was a tremendous fire. I never saw anything like this.
Late last night, Mayor Dinkins expressed his concern in a statement that said, on an evening as sacred as this for members of the Jewish faith, I am sure both congregations, and indeed New Yorkers of all faiths, are distressed by what has happened to this house of worship. But some Borough Park residents are distressed that the fire may have been no accident.
It's a synagogue, and it happened on the holiday. And if the police doesn't have a cause of it yet, if it's not electrical or anything like that, we would like to know the cause.
Here is the latest on the investigation from fire marshals at this hour. They say they so far have not found any evidence of any kind of accelerant, chemical or otherwise, that could have started the fire. That sometimes means that it would not be arson, but there is this serious caution at this hour. The fire marshals, because of the continuing demolition and the unsafe conditions, have been unable to get to most of the areas where they would expect an accelerant to be. So this fire definitely at this hour regarded as suspicious. We're live in Borough Park. Tim Minton, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
Fire and explosion at the World Trade Center 6 weeks ago stunned New Yorkers. Today, the fifth suspect in that bombing was arraigned this morning. Bilal al-Qaisi, who turned himself in to investigators, was indicted by a federal grand jury. He's charged with the fatal bombing at the complex. The indictment is a step up from the charge of aiding and abetting the bombers that had been filed earlier. Al-Qaisi's case will now be consolidated with 4 others charged directly with the bombing. And a break this morning in the case of the German tourist brutally murdered in Miami in front of her 2 young children. A grim-faced Miami police chief, Calvin Ross, announced the arrest of 2 men, 19-year-old Anthony Williams and 24-year-old Leroy Rogers, both charged with first-degree murder and strong-arm robbery. Ross said he is serving notice on anyone preying on visitors and residents of the city.
The police department is not going away. We're going to be here, and we will get you. We may not get you today or tomorrow, but we're going to get you.
When Barbara Jensen Muller was beaten, robbed, and run over last week, she became the 3rd German and 7th foreign tourist to be murdered in Miami since October. The suspects have long criminal records, and the murder charges carry a possible death sentence.
Hugh Rodham, the father of Hillary Rodham Clinton, has died in Little Rock. President Clinton, the First Lady, and their daughter Chelsea flew from Washington this morning to make funeral arrangements. Mrs. Rodham Clinton had spent 2 weeks at her father's bedside after he suffered a stroke last month. She had returned to work just a few days ago. Rodham was 82. And meanwhile, the president's budget for fiscal 1994 has been sent to Congress. It is a 1,400-page document detailing a $1.5 trillion spending plan. It's generally along the lines the president outlined back in February.
Budgets are not just about numbers. They are about people. And this budget basically reflects the policies of a new administration trying to reduce the deficit, trying to change priorities for this country and set a new direction for this country.
But one issue the budget does not address is health reform, which the president hopes to get through Congress later on this year.
Final arguments today in the civil rights trial of Rodney King, with the jury possibly beginning its deliberations tomorrow. Meanwhile, Los Angeles is bracing for the verdict with increased security. Jim Dolan is in Los Angeles, live now with more on our story. Jim.
Yeah, Tim, final arguments are going on right now in the courthouse. You know, maybe nothing will happen here in Los Angeles when the verdict is read on the 8th floor of the federal courthouse behind me. Maybe the memories of last year are enough to calm most of the people here, and maybe the enormous police presence here will quiet the rest. But the day of deliberations is almost upon this city now, and every day you can feel the tension rise. The defendants came to court today like much of Los Angeles, anxious to get on with the trial, but anxious too about what the verdict will bring. In the state trial, a not guilty verdict brought days of rage that seemed to consume much of this city. Scores were killed, hundreds injured, and 4,000 arson fires gutted whole neighborhoods. Police have promised a stronger response this time. Rubber bullets and tear gas have been distributed for use in controlling crowds, and 6,500 cops will be on the street the moment deliberations begin. Gun sales soared in the weeks following the riots and have picked up again as the trial inches closer to deciding what is to be done with 4 cops who together have raised the temperature of Los Angeles and put a spotlight on its simmering racial tension. Closing arguments should take all of today and most of tomorrow, and then finally this case will be placed in the hands of the jury to decide the fate not just of 4 police officers, but in many ways the immediate future of Los Angeles. Reporting live from LA, Jim Dolan, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Donald and Marla are playing a waiting game.
Up next on Eyewitness News, the Kusum Tusum. Talk about the little bundle that's on the way and whether or not they're going to tie the knot.
Also, she was a powerful voice in the civil rights movement, an opera singer whose voice is now silenced. A look at the career of Marian Anderson.
And a bit later, fresh off an Oscar nomination for one role, Denzel Washington jumps into another big project. That story later on Eyewitness News.
Want to get away from committing adultery and fornication.
The race is on for mayor of New York, and Eyewitness News brings on the challengers. In a special report, meet the men who are fighting it out for the city's top job. Tonight, meet Roy Innes. He says he's the one true alternative to business as usual in City Hall. But can a candidate outside the mainstream of New York politics make a serious bid for mayor? Watch the 93 vote, the mayoral elections, the challengers. An Eyewitness News special report tonight at 11 here on Channel 7.
Something revolutionary has arrived. And though it may not change the course of mighty rivers or quite move mountains, the first great tasting, lower calorie candy bar will move you. New Mars Milky Way 2 has 25% fewer calories, but all the taste of a Mars Milky Way. So while it won't cause the planets to realign, it will make life on this one a little sweeter.
Homeowners, if you're looking for the easy way to get a home equity credit line account at rates as low as this, listen to Bud Bash.
We're shooting for a new goal, $100 million in new loans. That means we'll be making loans to a lot of people with good credit, people who've had credit problems, even people who've had trouble getting a loan in the past. Call Personal Mortgage Corporation. When it comes to second mortgages, we approve, and with $100 million to lend, the faster the better.
Welcome back.
If you've gone away from cold cuts, you'll be delighted to hear this.
Welcome back.
Boar's Head ham actually has less cholesterol than skinless chicken breast. Boar's Head turkey breast has far less fat than baked salmon. Boar's Head roast beef has fewer calories than tuna in water.
Welcome back, welcome back.
If you said bye-bye to cold cuts, welcome back to Boar's Head.
Mama-to-be Marla Maples and prospective daddy Donald Trump introduced the latest chapter of their 6-year off-again, on-again saga together. This one titled Parenthood Yes, Marriage Well Maybe, Prenuptial a Pretty Safe Bet. The details are anyone's guess.
This morning's papers scream the news and the speculation whether Marla and Donald will make it legal.
Are we getting married?
And if so, when?
Who said we're not?
Then asked once again.
I have to reiterate, who said we're not? I have to say that, and you got to figure it out.
In fact, the two disseminated very little news at the news conference they called, but they kissed and patted and... Marla did quite a bit of giggling, apparently giddy over the prospect of her own baby Trump.
Yes, it was definitely a surprise. I was one of those women that thought 35 or 40 would be a good time, but I feel very good. You know, when it happens, you know it's meant to be. You just have to really trust that, whether it's planned or not. You just sort of trust God's plan and do what you have to.
And what does that mean? Who knows? But it was good publicity for Trump, who is trying to make a financial comeback, and for Maples, who is appearing nightly in Broadway's Will Rogers Follies. Maples says she'll keep doing her cartwheels and sexy strutting on stage for as long as her doctors will let her. She's due in October. And it may well have been the show that leaked the story in the first place.
You tell a producer a secret and look what happens.
Ah, that laugh. Marla's father reportedly told Trump he would be very disappointed if he does not tie the knot. Stay tuned.
Marian Anderson, she was not just only a renowned singer, but she became a symbol of blacks struggling for equal rights. She died yesterday morning, or this morning rather, at the age of 96. Ms. Anderson made history in 1939 when Eleanor Roosevelt arranged a concert for her at the Lincoln Memorial after she was barred from singing at Constitution Hall because she was black. In 1955, she became the first black to sing at the Metropolitan Opera.
What a voice.
Very much so.
Up next on Eyewitness News, we'll find out if this weather is too good to last.
Veronica Johnson has the exclusive AccuWeather forecast. That's next. Plus, a student in Teaneck who had a radical proposal for sex education. Now the school board makes a decision on that idea.
Also, he knows adversity, but that is not stopping Ben VEREEN from making a comeback. We'll hear what the entertainer has planned now.
It's really exciting. If you don't believe in fate, you need to watch my next show. Love stories like you've never heard.
I could tell he was instantly in love with me.
Why, was he drooling? She took more than his money at the toll booth.
For 4 years, I was going through the same toll plaza looking for her.
She sat in the wrong plane seat, but met the right man.
His Cocker Spaniel's name is Brandy as well.
That was it! Some amazing love stories on the next Oprah. Today at 4, followed by Eyewitness News right here on Channel 7.
Washington apples. They're as good as you've heard.
A truly tender experience comes along so very rarely. Fortunately, such tenderness awaits you in every Bounty bar, where a sea of the most luxurious chocolate embraces coconut so moist and tender it could only come from paradise. Bounty, the taste of paradise.
Try a little tenderness.
People who make things love wandering through the arts, crafts, needlecrafts, and silk flower departments of Treasure Island. Aisle after aisle of quality, selection, and unbeatable prices, where friendly salespeople are helpful craftspeople. The selection huge, different, and often ours alone. And best of all, we guarantee value. We simply will not be undersold. There are those typical craft stores, and then there's Treasure Island. It's a most unusual store.
Next question. New York Newsday's got everything that you want in a sports paper.
I get emotional when I read it.
Actually, I don't get emotional. I'm just looking for the dirt.
It's exciting reading.
Fantastic coverage on local high schools and colleges.
Especially reading sports, I want to know everything.
I almost feel as if I'm in the locker room when they're writing their piece.
When they're sweating and downright dirty.
It's the best sports coverage in town. Thank you. Next question.
New York Newsday. Truth, justice, and the best sports in New York.
You got the answer right here.
The Board of Education in Teaneck has said no to a student-organized plan to distribute condoms in school. High school junior Jason Klempner was one of the students who collected nearly 400 signatures supporting the plan. But the board's policy committee has rejected the proposal. Still, the issue will be discussed at a public meeting on Monday. Students in Hightstown, New Jersey have their sights set on the Space Shuttle Discovery. The astronauts aboard the shuttle have begun their experiments, and one of those comes from the Petty School in Hightstown. It was a picture-perfect launch overnight. It was the second attempt. The first, you may recall, was aborted early Tuesday, 11 seconds before liftoff. A faulty computer was blamed. This time, the shuttle rose from its pad on schedule at 1:29 this morning.
4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition. We have liftoff of Discovery on the second mission to Planet Earth research flight.
The 5 astronauts on board will spend 8 days in space measuring the Earth's ozone layer.
Roger, roll it.
Veronica Johnson here, filling in for Bill Evans. What a gorgeous day to fill in.
And in a few minutes, I'll be off the clock and I'll be heading out. And of course, it's a gorgeous day.
5, 6, and 11.
That's right. No weather problems today, of course, other than the fact that it's so nice. A lot of people want to spend more time outside than inside. Incidentally, we'll take you now to the Harlem River, showing you just how picturesque it is out there. Crystal clear skies and low humidity, but things will begin changing somewhat. Let's take a look at those current conditions now. We're holding at 53 degrees, humidity at 24%. We'll see that humidity rise by tomorrow afternoon. Well, yeah, then barometric pressure, it's already beginning to fall off through the area. That's indicative of a low pressure system that's trying to creep into the area. Our winds are out of the east now at 9 miles per hour, so a lot of those coastal areas are a little cooler across the Twin Forks as well. Record today Saturday, 90 degrees in 1991. Now, that's more summer-like weather than spring, but still, I wish it were here. Satellite in motion, we'll take a look at it now, showing you the clouds. Yeah, they're well to our west, and they extend all the way up into the Midwest. But the main low-pressure system that we're watching, it's due to move into the area, of course, as early as tomorrow evening. As I said, big disturbance here. Another shot of energy coming through. Not only thunderstorms, but hail and tornadoes firing up throughout portions of eastern Texas and the parishes of Louisiana in the range of 3 to 4 inches as far as rainfall is concerned. But still, we're trying to hold on to those clear skies all the way down into the southeast. And then out west, well, high pressure is here too throughout most of the Rocky Mountain states. Temperatures will take to the 90s across the deserts of the southwest. And then yet another shot of energy comes into the Pacific Northwest, bringing showers there. Here's a look at that low pressure system by tomorrow. Yeah, it'll move into the area. We may see some showers as early as Saturday morning, but the clearing will start by about Sunday, occurring from south to north. Tonight, 44, mostly clear skies. By tomorrow, we'll see a temperature of 62 degrees, cooler along the coast once again, taking to 62 degrees. Still a little bit above normal. We'll drop back down to 48 degrees under those mostly cloudy skies. And unfortunately, for Sunday, yeah, showers for Easter Sunday at 52 degrees. Not too bad, but too bad it's
today and tomorrow.
Yeah, enjoy it while we can. Yeah. Thanks, Veronica. After months of physical therapy, actor VEREEN gets back into the spotlight as one of today's people in the news. An accident last summer left VEREEN critically injured, but now the dancer is back on his feet and ready to perform in Jelly's Last Jam. He appeared today on Good Morning America and gave thanks for his new lease on life.
How are you?
I'm blessed. I'm blessed, and first of all, I give honor to God, you know, because none of this would have happened without God. And it's exciting. It's really exciting.
VEREEN has always wanted to perform in the Broadway musical and will get his chance tonight playing opposite Gregory Hines. Oscar-winning actor Denzel Washington is also on the move. The star of Malcolm X, which earned him an Oscar nomination, will soon begin working on his next role. He will portray a newspaper reporter in the political thriller The Pelican Brief, based on the John Grisham novel. Rehearsals begin next month, and actress Julia Roberts is his co-star.
Well, there could be a new star in your own kitchen.
Up next on Eyewitness News, we'll show you how to prepare dish after dish with lentils. Mr. Fu shows us the recipes next.
The race is on for mayor of New York, and Eyewitness News brings on the challengers. In a special report, meet the men who are fighting it out for the city's top job. Tonight, meet Roy Innes. He says he's the one true alternative to business as usual in City Hall. But can a candidate outside the mainstream of New York politics make a serious bid for mayor? Watch the 93 vote, the mayoral elections, the challengers. An Eyewitness News special report tonight at 11 here on Channel 7.
Whatever reasons you had for not getting cable TV, starting now, you just ran out of them. Because cable TV offers installation for just $9.95, plus Showtime, HBO, the Movie Channel, and Cinemax. Get big savings when you order cable and premium TV. Showtime has spectacular blockbuster movies, Basic Instinct, Hook, exclusive engagements. HBO has huge box office hits, Lethal Weapon 3, Batman Returns, big names and special events. Watch the Movie Channel for non-stop entertainment action, Bugsy, and Cape Fear. Cinemax has sensational movies around the clock, Patriot Games, Stephen King's Sleepwalkers. Call now toll-free and get even more. Get cable TV with 24-hour news, sports, kids shows, music videos. You'll have all the reasons for having the time of your life. Call 1-800-OK-CABLE and get installation for only $9.95 when you order cable and premium TV. Call 1-800-OK-CABLE now.
Something revolutionary has arrived. And though it may not change the course of mighty rivers or quite move mountains, the first great tasting, lower calorie candy bar will move you. New Mars Milky Way 2 has 25% fewer calories, but all the taste of a Mars Milky Way. So while it won't cause the planets to realign, it will make life on this one a little sweeter.
A burning issue related to Easter services will be decided in a courtroom in Cincinnati. The church and the local fire marshal are at odds over whether Easter candles held by parishioners in the pews are a fire hazard. Fire codes allow lighted candles only at the altar. The Cincinnati Archbishop says Easter candles are a powerful symbol and that the ban is a violation of freedom of religion.
And today on Eyewitness News at 5, the school kids from New Jersey who see their experiment lift off into space along with the shuttle. Also, you'll meet the child who is a living miracle. She and another little girl received part of the same liver in a rare transplant, and now they're home. And a story of growing up and baseball. Joel Siegel tells us Sandlot is a strikeout, or he'll tell us whether it's a strikeout or a home run. And a review of Burt Reynolds' new comedy called Cop and a Half, 2 for the price of 1. All this and much more today at 5 on Eyewitness News. And finally, an old favorite is popping up more and more these days, and it's as delicious as ever. Mr. Food shows us how there's no end to the ways that you can prepare lentils.
With so many of us trying to eat better, we're seeing something old-time more often today. It's lentils. Now, they look a lot like beans, but they aren't. They're more like peas, you know, like split peas, pea soup, that kind. And they're popular all around the world, not only because they store and hold well, or that they're so reasonable, but they don't have to soak for hours like beans do. In fact, they cook up in 15 or 20 minutes like a rice or a pasta. So they fit our busy today lifestyle as well as our healthier lifestyle. Well, they're so low in fat and full of fiber. Now, if we want, we can simply boil them in water or broth. And it's 1 cup of lentils cooked in 2 cups of liquid, and we get more than 2 cups of cooked lentils for sure. Now, how's that for value? And if the liquid was broth, they'll be even richer. Then just serve them as they are or mash them. Either way, they just take a little butter or margarine, a little salt and pepper, and new side dish. And with some seasonings, it makes a great bean dip. So now we've got quick, rich, easy, and inexpensive, but there's more. They can be the hearty part of our salad. We can use them to thicken our vegetable soup, to make it something to stick to our ribs, like the old-fashioned European soups that you can stand a spoon up in. And it does that same thick and rich part to stew also. And they're in the market with the beans and the peas, some in bags, some in boxes, a few different brands. All of them are fine. Fine. You'll love saying, ooh, it's so good.
That's the news for now. I'm Victoria Corderi.
And I'm Tim Fleischer. For all of us here at Eyewitness News, go out and make it a good day.
Bye.
Do your bills arrive by the bag full? If you're a homeowner, call Statewide Capital at 1-800-DIAL-CASH and consolidate them into one low-cost home equity loan. Even if you've been turned down at the bank, you can lower your monthly payments. The interest may be tax-deductible. Then pull just one bill out of the bag. Make just one low payment. For a better tomorrow, dial cash today. Call Statewide Capital now at 1-800-DIAL-CASH.
We only carry black.
There is no deceit in black.
What is black? Black is black.
Forget black. Everything brown.
I don't think brown's your color.
And now, the latest fashion from Bunaboshe.
You won't believe where I got these shoes.
Cats, the #1 family musical in America. Cats, the world's most thrilling theatrical event. Cats, the magic, the mystery, the memory will live forever. Cats, the 7-time Tony Award winner, the once-in-a-lifetime experience, the most exciting family musical. In a word, Cats at the Winter Garden Theater. Call Telecharge 2